that trailer, you be like, fire this man. The dancing is so sick. Like African dancing, girl, just the dancing alone. Is
this
amazing.
Netflix, Hulu? What's
It's
it on?
Netflix.
Okay, cool.
It's called Jiva.
Jiva.
I started watching it in New York thanks to Ashley.
How do you spell that?
Jiva, Jiva.
Okay.
Jiva. Jiva.
Okay.
Jiva Rascala.
Okay, cool. What's up, peeps?
Hey.
This is BlerdTalk
With Bola and Whitney.
Oh yeah, we back for Dragon Month, y'all. I mean, it's not actually Dragon Month.
It's more like Dragon
There's no
Week.
official
There's no official
July's
ordained
not
holiday.
Officially like Dragon Month or anything, but we did 2 movies that are like dragons,
and they're animated because we were trying to do animated movies this month, and they just so happened that I was like, these 2 movies have dragons in them.
Yeah, so we did Wish Dragon, and today's episode is Raya and the Last Dragon, which is fire.
Unleash the dragon, everybody! Unleash the dragon, baby. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Shorty, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Y'all people gonna make me
Unleash the dragon.
I know you don't really wanna.
Unleash the dragon.
People, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Shorties, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm sorry. When you said the Last Dragon, I was like, we about to bring the dragon out. Nah. Cisco, man.
Oh man, yeah.
Some of y'all
Cisco.
are not old enough to know about Cisco. But he was fire back in the. He's basically, if you know the thong song, you know who's Cisco. That was his other hit. Like, that was his first hit, Unleash the Dragon, and then the thong song came out.
Technically not his first hit. Maybe his first solo hit, because he
he was part of Drew Hill.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about just Cisco. So for
Okay,
me,
yeah.
like, Drew Hill can be on the side. Like, Cisco was fire. I'm just
Cisco
mad he
was
never
fire.
became bigger than he was, because he was so talented.
He was.
I was surprised. Like, why he didn't blow up more? I don't know. Stuff happens.
Life happens.
Life. Okay.
Yeah, but it's interesting that I said he's fire, because she's not actually a fire dragon. She's a water dragon.
Actually, yeah, and I did not know that. Well, I guess the color should have made it more known, but I like that she was a water dragon.
I thought it was cool.
Oh yeah, the dragon.
And I love when
really
she
cool
first.
looking.
You definitely knew it was Aquafina's voice.
Aquafina, let me tell y'all, Aquafina has such a distinctive voice.
She does.
You know what? We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go back.
Rewind.
Rewind. I'm sorry. I was thinking about Hamilton.
I was thinking about Hamilton too, but I didn't know the lyrics enough to try to get into it.
I know, me too.
But that's like my favorite.
I remember
song.
that night. I just might rewind. That's it.
Oh yes, fire!
Yes.
Absolute fire. That is my favorite song in the entire
Satisfaction,
show.
right?
Yeah,
Is it called Satisfaction?
it might. Yeah, satisfied.
Satisfied. There you go. Thank you.
Satisfied. That's my favorite song and favorite scene in the entire show, because the way they do it and they spin like the stage and stuff, I was like, this is amazing. My mind was blown.
I could listen to that song just by itself.
Me too.
I loved it.
Me too.
But yeah, so we're gonna be blurting out first before we get into Raya and the Last Dragon. So I'm gonna go first.
Go ahead,
so
girl.
y'all, I am blurting out about the Olympics. The Olympics have come upon us, and it's in Tokyo. So everyone knows that because of the pandemic, the 2020 games got basically ended, halted, put on pause. And so now, even though in Japan they really don't want to be doing this because they have a lot of cases and a new variant that has come up, the Olympics are like, we done paid for this dome, we gonna have this thing now. Japan was like, nah, I'm making my money. We putting these games on. So I'm excited that the Olympics it's just like another sign that the things are going back. I recently watched swimming, gymnastics, and a little bit of beach volleyball. I'm looking forward to track and field and stuff. And I just remember as a kid, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very big into sports. But the Olympics, I don't know why, I went hard crazy. And I think it's because I like the idea of a global competition where everybody's competing. And it's not the traditional sports only. It's all these other things that I could get down with. Like, I love figure skating. I love gymnastics. I loved watching swimming and speed skating. I loved it.
Maybe that is what it is, because I agree with you. I mean, well, I actually played some sports, in high school.
Oh, no, I don't play
and I
none.
enjoyed playing them. But I'm not really that much for, spectator sports. I mean, I can do football. I like football. Baseball is a little bit on the more boring side as a spectator to watch. But like, I think you're right. I think the thing about the Olympics is because there's so many different like not venues. Things.
Just things happening. So many different array. There's like a wide array of things, and then there's some of them is just simple games, like or a simple race. Like you can really watch a race. Like a race is cool to watch. You're like, yeah, go. Like that's what I was doing all day.
But I'm really a big fan of gymnastics, though.
Yes, watching them flip
is like the most interesting.
It's the skill, and I usually love diving too. To me, it's just the skill. Watching them, they hone and discipline their bodies and sacrifice a lot to become the best. I really appreciate that. I think it's great because it's not something I do. I love their discipline. Wish I had the same. But I've always, as a kid, I've always liked the Olympics. I have to watch whichever one I watch, and I missed the opening ceremony again, so I'm really pissed off about that, but it's okay.
Yeah, I missed it too.
I missed the opening ceremony because I usually like to see what they were doing. I saw a clip, but I didn't really understand what was happening. There was a lot of jumping, dancing, and I was just like, it was pretty, but I was like, I didn't get it. I didn't get the context. So, because that one time where it was in Beijing, that opening ceremony was like the best opening ceremony ever. I still will say the best opening ceremony is that Beijing one. Because China,
I think everybody agrees.
think that was the first time it was in China. And China was like, we going all out. So, but big thing I want to talk about was that Simone Biles had been she pulled herself out of the competition due to like mental, I would say mental stress and pressure. And I'm not gonna lie, I was watching some of her footage from Monday or Sunday night, Monday night.
I saw her on Sunday.
And she was not on her game. She was not. She was falling all over the place. She was bouncing out.
I mean, she was still awesome. She was still, above many of the people, but she wasn't at Simone Biles level.
She wasn't sticking it. Like, that's the main issue. She wasn't sticking nothing. She kept falling off. I don't know what was going on with her, but I could tell something was up. And I'm glad that she had decided to pull herself out of the team competition because she recognized, and this is actually wisdom to me, she recognized that she's like, you know what? I'm way too stressed. There was too much pressure upon me, and I'm not doing well. I'm going to pull myself out of this because I need to first fix me. Like, I can't compete and do this and all this and not be well within myself.
Right.
So she pulled herself, and it's the same thing that Naomi Osaka did, that everyone was like, why would you pull yourself out of the Australian Open, all that kind of stuff. She was having mental stressors. She was having pressure issues, and especially with the people talking to her, the paparazzi being rude and all that kind of stuff. She was like, you know what? I'm going to pull myself out of this because no game should be more important than my personal well-being and health.
Agreed.
And I just think that was wise. I'm gonna miss seeing her, but she's still doing some stuff. She's not like out of the games completely. She's still gonna do some stuff, but she's just taking a back seat on some of the stuff because they had her doing so many things. It was almost like they want her to carry the whole team, and she's like, no, all these other chicks are really good too, so they can do some stuff. And I recognize why she did it, and I just applaud her for it. So big up to her. And then y'all go watch the Olympics. Like, just check a sport out.
Yeah.
Do some stuff. See some new faces.
I didn't know that she had, well, until you said it, hearing you talk about it earlier, I didn't know that she had, withdrawn from the team. Not team, like the overall team USA, but from the team competition. The team competition was like the biggest one. Yeah. And Russians are our rivals. So, and they are, of course, or as a ROC. Ain't nobody fooled.
What is that anyway? I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what is that?
They've got sanctions or something against Russia because they were doping.
Yeah, because they don't mind doping.
So they can't officially participate under the Russian flag. So it's the Russian Olympic Committee. So if they win and stuff, it's not attributed to Russia.
That's what
and they can't play the Russian anthem or whatnot. It's like.
What do they play then? Some polka music?
I don't know.
I just wonder.
I don't know.
Putin, that's your fault. But anyway, let me stop. Because he don't mind them doping. I'm just saying. Just like I know that those little Chinese girls are not 15, 16. I'm sorry, China, but I've seen them. I know you got some 12, 13-year-olds pretending they 15, 16. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't know what you do to them birth certificates. But I'm just going to say it because I'm just going to say it. Anyway, I hope all of Team America does well. And I'm also rooting for Nigeria, too, because it's just a great time to be Nigerian. I know I talk about it a lot, Whitney, but it's just something we're flossing and flexing right now because the Nigerian basketball team, like before even the opening ceremony, they beat the American team in basketball.
What?
And if you know how badly they did last summer games, my God, it was a 180 complete difference. I was shocked. Like somebody at work told me. They're like, Bola, ain't you Nigerian? I'm like, yeah. Don't you know how well the Nigerian team did? They beat the Americans in the qualifier. I was like, what? Somebody ate their eba, man. They weren't starstruck. They were just like, we came to win.
Speaking of,
and there's a Nigerian gymnast for the first time too. I had to point that out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But speaking of,
what's your blerd out, Whitney?
Huh?
What's your blerd out, Whitney? Oh, you were speaking of Eba.
Before we go into my blerd out, I would like to speak about the fact that in the previous episode, you were talking about why doesn't somebody Chinese bring like a hot pot place to Virginia? I would just like to say, Bola G, being Nigerian, why do you not bring an Eba and F place? Because I told you that I will, just like I do for my pho place, I tried to keep them during the pandemic in business all by myself. Patron. I will do the same.
She wants a Niger spot. I'm not going to lie. I'm working on it. I'm working on this one dude at work at church because he throwing it down. Every time there's a party, he be making the jollof rice.
Don't even do like a full-scale restaurant. Start out with the food truck.
Yo, I'm going to talk to him about that because I was like, you could really make some money. Because there ain't no good Nigerian food. No, people will come like, I just love that jollof rice, yo. I just love that jollof. Give me that F.O. and Eba, man. Especially with the fufu challenge I was going around. Everybody want to try fufu now. Ooh, there's even a lady at my work that always be coming at me. Talking about, because she's dating a Nigerian. She always be coming at me with all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, I want to tell her, like, I'm not the patron saint of Nigerians. Like, you can find some shit out on your own. Anyway, but let's pray about that. Let's pray. Whitney, what you blerding out about?
All right, so I've been there was a show called The Good Wife. It was about like lawyers and stuff. Excellent show, so good. And they have a spinoff.
Whitney, you always blurting on about shows. You went to BlerdCon. You should be talking about BlerdCon.
I mean, BlerdCon was cool, but they didn't have it last year. But you're right. I should talk a little bit about BlerdCon. I did go to BlerdCon.
Blurt out about BlerdCon.
But it wasn't
some cool posters on the table.
Oh yeah, I did get some really cool posters. They had some great artists and whatnot in the artists and merchant alley.
Nappy Nerd was there too, right?
She was.
She always there. Did she make any cool stuff? I know she did. She always make cool stuff.
I'm sure she did.
Shout out to Nappy Nerd. We
but
love
that's the thing. This year it didn't have as many panels that I personally was interested in. Because they didn't have it last year. They had it this year. They actually have, I believe the tickets are on sale now for 2022.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
Did they have the comedy hour, the comedy act?
They did have the comedy show. That's always like I don't think they had the fashion show this time.
Oh, dang.
And yeah, that was a bummer.
The costume show would have been great.
You mean cosplay? I thought you meant like.
That's what I just call it all the fashion show.
Okay.
But it's the cosplay show.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking almost like maybe like the burlesque or something like
no,
that.
No, not that. That wasn't good that time you went, girl.
I thought it was good. I thought the burlesque show was good. I thought that the
dancer was okay, but the game was terrible.
Yes. See, that was my thing. I thought the game was some stuff, but I thought that the burlesque show was actually entertaining. I enjoyed the burlesque show, but the game I was just like, meh.
So boring. So boring.
Yeah. But so this year the comedy show was good overall. Let me tell you. So they had four comedians. The first three were good. They were really good. The last person, she was a black girl, was not good. And she was the headliner. And it's just I'm the entire time I'm sitting there and I'm just like, maybe I just don't get it. But I'm just and she kept trying to make this one joke happen. And nobody in the crowd was really laughing. And she kept bringing it back y'all gonna laugh at this. It is hilarious. It's no, it's really not.
Oh my gosh.
And my friend, Lika was I think she was high though. She mentioned she was high. She's probably high, so she thinks she's funnier than she is right now because it's not really popping off. I'm yeah, she's terrible. We actually left before she was completely done. We probably stayed through most of her
I'm telling you right now, when there's a bad comedian on, I bounced because I made the mistake of I like to go to the Funny Bone. I really hope they open back up. But I went to the Funny Bone with my sister one time, and the headliner was this guy named Carlos something. I forgot his last name because I can't stand him. And he's usually on Wildin' Out with what's that guy from Wildin' Out?
Nick Cannon.
Thank you. He's usually on
to be
there
honest,
with him.
I'm not as big on Wildin' Out. I don't think
it's at certain points it's funny, but I don't watch the show really. I like the clips. And
my
that's
brother
enough for
watches
me.
it. He likes it. So
yeah, if you're into like really trash talking, you like it, but it's not. Sometimes they're funny, and other times I like the clips. I don't be watching the whole show.
Okay.
So this Carlos dude is a comedian, but he was on there. But he was the headliner. So you know how they always have some earlier comics come out. Oh my gosh, they were so funny. We enjoyed them.
Yeah.
And again, here's my issue with comedians. I like comedians, but if you have to constantly rely on just sexual jokes for your whole set, I'm going to tune out because I don't want to keep hearing you about D and this and that. And every time you slept with somebody, I don't want to hear this. Like, you can be funny without always talking about that. I'm not saying you can't put some of those jokes in.
Yeah.
But if you just, you talking about just nasty, nah. Nah. And then we went there and we went to the later show. And I was like, to me, it just seemed like he just gave up. Like, he just didn't care. And I was like, you're not funny. And we paid money for this. Like, you're a trash. I got up. Like, a lot of people just got up. And we just left. And he just, like, not caring. I'm like, you sucked. And I was like, I made sure I went on and reviewed. I was like, never bring this fool back to Richmond because he's terrible. It just seemed like he was just, like, he might have just been too high or something. I don't know. But I don't like that.
Yeah.
I will walk out quick. And I told I was like, let's go. I'm sorry I brought her because she was from Nigeria and she's never been to a comedy show here. She liked the first guys and we ate some food and stuff, but the headliner, you both were like, man, he sucked. I was like, why? The first time I bring her to a comedy show in America, he's terrible.
Yeah. So that was the bad thing. Like, every other one of the comics were really good. But
the headliner
she is
sucks.
the headliner was just like, oh man. But
God.
other than her as the headliner, the rest of it was good.
Lafayette didn't come back again.
Lafayette, is that the
tall one that was funny when we went last time?
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking about the transgender woman.
No, he was a guy.
Huh?
He was just a guy.
Oh, I thought she was transgender.
No, Lafayette. He was just a guy, and he's still just a guy. He was just a comedian, and he was hilarious. He was one of our favorites that day we went.
Okay. Well, anyway, wait.
His name was Lafayette.
Okay. I don't think Lafayette was at this one. Okay. There was this guy who was kind of like really close cut or kind of balding head. Well, no, sorry, he was the presenter. There was I can't remember who the other guy is. Then there was like a white guy who
shout out to white guys that go to BlerdCon.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all little allies, y'all are cool for going for that.
He was, but he was like, I'm not sure what it was exactly. He
was funny at least?
He was funny. But I don't know if he was at the one that you went to. He might have, because like I think each of the people that were at this year's comedy show had been at a previous one, so you might have seen this guy too. White guy with glasses, dark hair, but he's got some type of
Asperger's or something.
I don't know if it's Asperger's because it also physically
like a physical impediment or a speech impediment.
Physical and a little bit of speech too.
Oh, okay. Parkinson's?
I don't know. But in any case,
he was funny?
He was funny.
Okay.
And I think he had been at a previous BlerDCon as well. But yeah, he was funny. But like I said, everybody was funny except for the headliner chick.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah. But I did overall enjoy the comedy show. But like I said, I always enjoy BlerDCon.
Yeah.
It's just, it had less
and it's
panels.
probably due to the pandemic, honestly.
It probably is, because I know
not
that
traveling as much.
People had to, people weren't traveling as much. It was a vaccine mandated event, like in order to attend.
And people have some issues with that, so not everybody's trying to get it, even if they could attend. They were like, "Nah, I'm not trying to get this."
Exactly. There was that. So, and there was also the fact that the panelists or whatever, even if you had gotten approved for 2020, you had to like reapply to be a panelist for the 2021 when they moved it. So
some people might not have even applied.
Yeah, that could have been it too. So, but they had some good ones. They had some like, oh my god. They had this guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he was from Nova Labs, which is like a maker space.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like my favorite panel of the entire thing. And I loved what he was talking about, but I loved him as a presenter too. He was this older white guy, and he apparently came to BlerDCon because he got into like going to cons and stuff because his daughter, he was also a really good storyteller. He was like, so the first year of I think it was actually BlerDCon, he was like, I come with my daughter because I think she was 16 at that point or something like that. He was like, so I, bring her to BlerDCon. She goes to the bathroom, so I'm waiting outside. He's like, 45 minutes go by.
Oh, no.
I'm harassing females as they come out of the...
like, where's my daughter?
Like, have you seen, like, a girl with dark hair about this height? And there he's like, so that's a good look.
That was hilarious.
He is. He was so funny. And,
what was she doing for 45? Oh, boy.
She came out. She had changed into a cosplay, but he didn't know that's what she was doing.
Why she didn't tell him? Dang, that's messed up. I would have thought like she fell into a whirlpool. Like, oh no, it's starting. The movie is starting.
And then he had a really good slide deck. He was like, and then she went in like this. She came out looking like this, and you saw her cosplay. So he's like, that's how I got into cosplaying and stuff. She wasn't actually at BlerDCon this year. Somebody actually had a question in the room. Like, one of the questions was, so where's your daughter then? And he was like, oh, she got an internship. So she had to work.
Cool.
And everybody was like, oh, that's awesome. But,
so overall, how many glasses would you give BlerDCon?
BlerDCon, I would give...
For real.
7 glasses and a monocle.
There we go. That's good. So you had a good time.
I did have a good time. I just wish
above
there were more...
average time.
Yeah. It's still my favorite con. I just want some more panels that I'm interested in. I'm sure they had like a good like space, but like previous years I had like a lot more panels that I was like really...
Whitney, would it really cost a lot if we just went to like regular Comic-Con?
Isn't that in California?
Yeah. Take a plane.
I don't know. I mean, plane ticket wise, and then hotel probably because cost of living.
It would be a lot. You think?
Yeah.
Let's not be a downer. Quick question before we start.
Well, actually, you know what? We've never looked at it. We might be surprised.
Okay. Anybody want to sponsor our trip to Comic-Con this year? Please let us know.
Yes, put it out.
Hit us up, BlerdTalkBW@gmail.com.
There you go.
Okay, quick question before we start.
Oh, sorry. Let me finish the pen. This guy, and this is just like a review on like presenting in general. Mm-hmm. One, he had a good slide deck, but he was also not reading from his slide deck. Because you know how some people, they're basically just reading what's on there, and it's like, well, I could just read what's there, sir. But he also, I love the fact that, like, because I went to other panels, and I was, like, kind of near the back in a couple of them, and someone would ask a question, and all I heard was, and then the presenter would answer the question, and I'd be like, but what was the question?
Exactly, I hate that.
I hate that.
I hate that, too.
And this dude, he projected his voice, so I could always hear him. But number 2, he was excellent because every single time someone asked a question, he repeated the question so that the whole room knew what the question was, and then he answered it. Yeah. I'm like, this dude is a phenomenal presenter. I know.
Don't you like it when things go the right way? Like,
yes. I love it when somebody knows what they're doing. I'm like, this guy is probably awesome to learn from. You could tell that he was probably like an awesome instructor.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the lady who did the Nigerian wedding. At the ceremony always has a hostess because she does the going between the families. And I'm telling you, this presenter, this hostess lady, we all were like, yo, we need to hire her for my cousin's wedding or whoever, because not only was she like you, Whitney, where she just has songs on deck. Like, I've never seen an old like Nigerian lady like sing. You're talking about this is a Nigerian traditional thing, but she was bringing in like pop music, old school music, like Lionel Richie, Flo Rida, and like Davido, and all these other people in one place. You're just like, we would all turn around. Like, is she singing "Celebrate" by Kool and the Gang? Like, she would just bring all these random. I'm like, I was in awe of her because I was like, you really know your crowd. Like, she knew Muslim stuff because the family was Muslim, so she used to do that. She sang Christian songs for the Christians. It was ridiculously funny, and I'm like, she knows her crowd. She spoke English, and she translated because the wife's family was from America. And then the groom's family was Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
So she spoke Yoruba for the parts that she needed to, but she spoke English and explained to the family that was there. I was like, that's a good host. Like, I have never seen it where somebody was like that. So
I
you're
really
right.
appreciate. You know what? It's not until you like see like bad hosts that you really appreciate
The good
how
ones.
the good ones, and that it's not easy to be a good host.
It's not. You gotta
'Cause,
think
like,
about
you think
a lot
of
of stuff.
like, I mean, I don't watch American Idol a whole lot anymore, but like, what's his name? Ryan Seacrest. Ryan Seacrest is
He's
a
a bomb
phenomenal host.
Mhm.
And it's not until you see someone truly crappy that you appreciate that this is not easy.
Mhm.
It seems like it could be, but it's really not, as illustrated by the bad ones. It's like, it is not easy or simple.
You gotta
to
be a good
host.
hostess with the mostest.
That's right.
Presenter. I feel like to think I would make a good host.
I think you would.
Thank you.
I think you would.
Because I would think about what I would want. Like, that
Mhm.
whole thing about the questions, like, that's what I would, like, automatic. If you're in a big room, I'm going to repeat the question because people need to know what you're asking.
I aspire to one day have my own panel at BlerdCon.
About something, right?
Yeah,
I know
about
what you
something.
mean.
Yeah.
And I just desire a fandom where people
Or
are,
maybe
like,
we would
coming
do
and dressing as my stuff.
Liqua said she went to one that was like a podcast, and like they did like a podcast while they were talking
cool.
about whatever. I was like, maybe one day BlerdTalk
do a
with Bola and
BlerdTalk
Whitney
with Bola
would be
and
at like
And we just, like, talk to different people like, hey.
BlerdTalk at BlerdCon.
I know, that'd be cool. Maybe I'll go next year.
Yeah.
If they allow us to do the BlerdTalk, because I'm really interested in that, doing our show.
Mm.
All right, so.
Oh,
quick
sorry,
question.
but like my actual blurred out before you told me.
Oh, I think we should move on.
I just want to mention it. It's a good
BlerdTalk
fight.
be
The
your
good fight is
Blerd-
good.
Let the BlerdCon be your BlerdTalk. How about we save it for the next time?
No, I want it to be a
Whitney!
good fight. Just
Okay,
want to throw it
fine.
out there. It's quick.
Okay, go ahead.
The Good Fight, really good show. They
The
have a new
Good Fight?
season.
I thought, or The Good Wife.
No, The Good Wife is really good, but they've got a spinoff because it ended.
It's called The Good Fight?
Yeah, because it's a spinoff of The Good Wife. So the spinoff is
Is
called...
it a fighting show?
No, it's still a lawyer show. It's just that instead of it being based on Alicia Florrick, who was the main character for like The Good Wife, it's based off of, well, it's an ensemble show, but it's based off of Diane Lockhart and some of the other people at the firm, like I don't know, but Adrian Bozeman, who's like you know what? I'm not going to get into the whole premise of the show. I'll talk more about it later, but really good show.
Okay.
CBS.
Cool.
Oh, wait, sorry. No, it's no longer CBS All Access. It's Paramount Plus now, y'all.
They pushing that mess real quick.
But it's
Before
got
I
good
used to be able to
stuff.
watch stuff real easily. Now they try to charge me premiere prices just to see the opening ceremony. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be letting us watch some things for free? Anyway.
I mean, if you have like a HD antenna, you can.
Hmm?
You can watch it for free if you have an HD antenna.
Oh, I guess I should have thought of that, but I don't think of that stuff.
Yeah. But I will close that out. Okay, I'm
Okay,
done.
my
We can
one
move in.
question I'm going to pose to you before we move in.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's that? Oh, crap.
Describe
I
it.
forgot the name already. The new movie that Chris Pratt has on Amazon. Is
Oh,
it
the
Forever
Tomorrow
War?
War?
Thank you. Do you
I
think
haven't
that's a good
seen it
movie?
yet.
Do you think you would want to watch it?
I'm up for watching it with you if you
I
want.
watched a little bit of it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared of the monsters because they looked really scary to me. Whitney knows I really don't like looking at scary, gory things, but I have seen some scary and gory things because I've seen The Punisher and I've seen Game of Thrones. So there's an extent to it. But if it looks too much, like actually some Asian dramas have worse scary things in them that I had to close my eyes.
Like Asian horror is like at the tip top of like
crazy.
truly like creepy horror.
Yes, I watched this show called this awesome drama on Netflix called Memoirs of Alhambra, and it's about that one song, that really cool guitar song, but it's basically about a guy who makes real life. It's a game where you just have to put on these lenses, and then you could fight in real time and stuff. But something goes awry in the game, and then all this crap ensues. It's a very interesting show, very cool premise. But when these zombie things came out, I was scared. I was like, nothing in that show is scary except for that part. I can't watch that whole episode again. I have to bypass it because they made them zombies scary, and they were part of the game, but it was in real life. So, oh god, I can't.
That reminds me of like Parasite, how like the entire movie was a drama, but then they got to the point where
That
the
one
guy
part with
with
his
his eyes, I was like, oh my god, this is a horror movie. Oh my god,
Ooh, it was too creepy. Too creepy. But anyway, I kind of wanted to know what you thought of tomorrow, or whether it was interesting, or whether you want to watch it or not.
I didn't have it on my. I mean, I knew about it, and I was like, oh, that might be cool. But to be honest, it was not like to the point where I had actually put it on any type of watch list to actually.
Heard anything about it?
No, I mean, okay. No.
All right, let's get into Raya. We're continuing our what? Animated Dragon month. I don't know what dragon sounds like. Rawr. Meow. All right, so let's start. Raya and the Last Dragon. I'm not gonna lie, I heard mixed reviews about this because this came out some time ago. It was on Disney Plus, so y'all can all stream it.
Well, when we say some time ago, I think we're talking relatively, because it came out like at the beginning of the year.
Really? Was it that long ago?
Well, or near the beginning of the year. It's like it's not been out for like a long time. It's just that it came out with premiere.
To me, it just seemed older.
And it just recently, I think within the last month, was so you didn't have
off
to pay extra.
That's what I was waiting for, because I'll be doing that.
Exactly. Me too. I'm not paying $30.
I'd rather go to the movie theater, honestly, than do that.
Me too. I was actually going to see it at the new theater before you decided to go and see it.
Well, it's not at the new theater anymore, so you gotta pick whatever's there to watch. But I heard mixed reviews about this, and I was like, why am I not hearing more about this? But then I watched it, and I was like, what is everyone talking about? I think this is awesome.
I thought it was freaking awesome as well.
I loved it.
Me too. Me too. I was like, this is so good. Like, just initial scene opening up, I'm like, oh my god, it's so pretty.
Yes, the animation is gorgeous. Like, it's so rich, a feast for the eyes. That's another thing I like about animation. It's just so colorful and vibrant.
Yes.
But the animation style is just getting way too impressive. Like, it's just
so good. And I love how, like, it's something that Disney does. Other people try to imitate Disney, because you know how back when people still actually used Redbox, I know people still use Redbox.
Yeah, people do.
They do, but
we did.
When people still use Redbox, like really, really a lot, which they don't do as much now because of all the streaming stuff. But when people used to use it a lot, I would notice how, like, anytime a new Disney movie or something come out, there would be some type of knockoff in the Redbox. Like when Frozen came out, it was like the Ice Queen with like a knockoff Disney thing.
And it's just not the same.
It's not, and it's like
not the same.
Disney is inimitable. You cannot imitate them. I mean, you can try, but it's not going to be successful because people. I think these ones that try to imitate them don't understand why they're successful. And it's like, it's not just about the animation. We talked about this with Wish Ray. It's about the characters. It's about the storyline. It's about the plot. It's really about the story and the characters. Like, watching, like, well, now we're getting to Pixar, but like Inside Out, I was bawling my eyes out on Inside Out.
Coco was Disney, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But Coco, I think specifically Pixar, though.
That's Pixar? Okay. We're not talking about that.
But, like, still, but with both of them, though, they're all about, like, heart. Like, there's, like, it's not just, like, pretty animation, which Disney does some very pretty animation.
Yes, they do.
But that's what people try to imitate. They're like, we'll just slap together some animation. It's like, no.
You need to pay attention to the story.
Like, the beginning scene when they're, like, telling the story and the switch up in the animation style that they put in there with, like, the paper-looking stuff. I'm like, this is so beautiful! It's awesome!
I know, I'm trying to get my sister to watch it, because I was like, she wanted to watch it with us, but she was sleepy, and I have my nieces for the summer while their mom's in Nigeria, and I was like, I'm going to let them watch good stuff, because they like watching some stupid stuff sometimes. So I'm like, no, y'all don't want some good stuff. Not all these people gaming or playing Roblox on what is this? I was like, y'all just sitting here watching other people play games or watching people eat. Oh my God, there's one Korean girl that eats an extraordinary amount of meat by herself. Like, I'm talking about a family of 20 can eat what she eats by herself.
Oh my gosh.
It's scary, Whitney. She ate 2 giant crabs, like the king crabs, the giant ones. She ate 2 of them by herself with side dishes. I'm sorry. But I'm like, they watch some stupid stuff. I was like, no, we're going to watch something good. So I was like, let's watch Raya and the Last Dragon. They loved it. Like, they thought it was amazing. We couldn't stop watching it. We had snacks, everything. And it was just like, I was so impressed. I was just like, I don't know if y'all watching, but I'm focusing. When one of them had to get up and pee, I was like, I am not pausing for you. Wow. Okay, I eventually did. I did. Like, I love watching it. I will hold my pee to watch a good movie.
And I loved how, like, after I finished watching the movie, looking at the credits, you saw so many. Well, one. Asian voice actors, which awesome, but the same could be said. I'm sorry to bring it up again, but the same could have been said for Mulan. But the difference was there were also Asian people in the writers' room.
Yes,
which I think makes a difference.
Thank you, Whitney, for bringing that up. It makes such a difference in making these things because you could see. I don't even know how the story developed. I did learn eventually because I did watch an interview process, before I came here because I do like to be researched before I come talk to y'all. But I was watching a panel of all the people that were in it. It was like a Zoom panel.
Okay.
With Kelly Marie Tran, Gemma Chan, Daniel Day Kim, and Sandra Oh.
They all.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I love all of them. Well, I'm not as familiar with Kelly Marie Tran, but oh my god, love Sandra.
Yeah,
so
and Aquamarine was there too. Aquamarine.
Aquafina.
Aquafina was there too. My bad, because I love Aquafina actually.
Oh my god,
she's amazing.
Like immediately, I knew who voiced the dragon.
Yes,
I didn't see it in like pre-credits or anything, but you just knew because her voice is so
distinguishable. Yes, yeah. it's like James Earl Jones. He's like, yeah, you know who that is. Stop playing.
You know who it is.
You know who Morgan Freeman. You know when his voice is on something.
Yeah,
you know. But I just really loved. I found out on the panel that I think it was a Vietnamese-based story. Like,
okay,
it was like based off.
Because that's one thing I was going to ask you. Like, watching these films, because Bola is like really, really into different cultures and stuff. So I know I can always go to her. And
love
be like,
it.
What culture did this come out of? Because I wasn't sure which Asian culture this was. Because I'm like, this isn't Chinese. I don't think. I'm pretty sure this isn't Chinese.
Yes,
not Japanese.
It wasn't,
but
Eastern,
I didn't
Northern.
know what it was.
It was South Asian, which I liked. It was South Asian, and not the Indian kind, but the South Asian, as in like Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, those areas that you don't really hear a lot of people talk about their stuff. So I really liked that it was not about
and it was different. I think that's
different
what,
Asians.
I think that's one thing that stood out and made it even more interesting is because it was different. Because you don't hear as much about those like stories from those cultures, at least me personally, or I guess on the mainstream or whatnot, because I was like, this is so cool and pretty and interesting. Like, yeah, I just loved it.
It was so beautiful. I liked that. But I liked that it was also a fantasy world. It was this fantasy world called Kumandra. So this is us getting into the plot. And dragons lived among humans. Yeah. And apparently the dragons were responsible for bringing water on the earth and keeping peace and everything, and people lived in harmony with the dragons. And Kumandra thrived as one nation with all these different areas, just like any country. There's different areas, right? But then one day these drones came up, which are like this kind of like dark energy cloud that kind of sucked everything up and turned them to stone. And I'm not gonna lie, I love that. I kind of like that the posture the people took. Because it was like they turned the individual to stone, but they took on this prayer posture, like a statue that would exist somewhere. And so that was kind of cool, this welcoming posture. And I think that was something that was part of their culture.
Yeah, because I was really interested in that as to why the posture as well. Because like you said, it was just really interesting that's.
Yeah, and so for the rest of the story is like, so one lone dragon took a gem fused with dragon power and magic, and defeated all of the drones, sent them back. But all the humans came back to life, but the dragons did not.
The dragons stayed stone.
They stayed in stone. And so for centuries, the country, Kumandra, started to break apart. Without the dragons, they started to break apart into, I believe it was about 5 or 6 distinct regions that now were like, five distinct regions that basically became like separate nations now, where they're like
you had fang, spine,
tail, heart, and I think that was it, right? Talon? Was it Talon?
Talon, yes, Talon was one. Yeah.
Okay, so talon, tail, spine, heart, fang.
5.
That's it. So it's 5. So 5 regions. And so all of these regions are constantly at war with each other. One, because the Heart Kingdom were the ones that guarded the gem So they
The
guarded
dragon
the gym,
gym,
yeah, and they still believed that it contained the dragon power. And so a lot of the kingdoms were like fighting each other and everything, and it was bad because
they wanted to get the gem because they thought it brought you prosperity.
Yeah, and so their region prospered a lot because they did have it, but who knows? What I liked was that the leader of this was Banji, I think was his name, Banja, I think, Banja. I will look it up, but it was our main girl Raya's father, and he believed so earnestly that Kumandra could come together again if we can get everybody to come together. So he really tried a diplomatic approach with the, you get
where
more
he
flies
invited all of the other
with honey
nations to
than
him.
with vinegar. So he invited everybody down to the heart place to let's have a discussion, let's come together instead of fighting all the time. But of course, what happened, Whitney? Tell them what happened.
So while there,
betrayal,
yeah. So Raya, she thinks she's made this friend, and for the what was it? Not town, Fang tribe.
From Fang, which was kind of like the one everyone disliked.
Well, I mean, I don't know about dislike, but the one that was pretty
sneaky,
powerful.
They were powerful too, yeah. Sneaky too.
Yeah, but Namari was her name, and they think Raya's and Namari gives her this necklace. It's a dragon
and
necklace.
they're kids at that
and
time.
And they're nerding out about the fact that they both are really into dragons. So Namari gives her this dragon necklace that she has, and she was like, "Oh, it's so cool! I like dragons." So she's like, "You know what? You're my new friend. Let me take you to show you this really cool place." So she takes her to where the dragon gym is.
Can we just say, first of all, wrong choice. You're supposed to be guarding that thing. I was like, why would you take her to the dragon gym?
Well, she's a child.
They should have taught her, because I'm like, nah, you still can't trust the
enemies.
enemies.
Think about what her father's beliefs were, though.
You're right. The father taught her to be trusting and to be kind and nice, and I love that. But it was just it was so heartbreaking for when Namari betrayed her. Once she got up in that place, she's like, oh, so this is where it's at. All right, she turned to herself quick, rolled up her family, the Fang people were in there, and then you got all the tribes fighting for the gym, and as the fighting breaks out, the gem breaks into 5 distinct pieces. Yeah. And they're all clamoring for the pieces.
And they all try to snatch them up. But when the dragon gem breaks, apparently that was the only thing keeping the Droon back, because then the Droon were released back into the world.
And then people lost their loved ones because they turned to stone. That's very sad. Let's just get on how deeply sad that is. Because I was like, yo, you just lost your whole family. What?
Yeah,
they turned to stone. Oh, that's
you got
heartbreaking.
The little Khan baby, and she's by herself because her whole family is stone. You got entire children just wandering out in the world by themselves.
Very post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
It was so sad, and then I felt bad because opposite of Din from the Wish Dragon episode that we did. It was she was pure of heart, but this one thing just devastated her, and then she became a very cynical person.
Jaded.
She grew up to 6 years.
Jaded.
Oh, I love that song.
You got your mama's smile, but you're yesterday's child to me. So jaded.
Aerosmith.
You think that's where it's at, but is that where it's supposed to be? You're getting it all over me. X-rated. My baby blue.
You're so jaded,
and I'm the one that jaded you.
Oh man, I love that song growing up. I need to put that on my Spotify. Anyway, y'all, so she got extra jaded, y'all. She grew up 6 years spent without her dad. She's just
he was he was a single dad, so she didn't have her
no other family. Yeah, she was fueled with the. Basically, because she knows that they were tasked. Their family was tasked to guard that thing. So she felt like it was her fault. So she had immense guilt. Because she felt responsible for her father being like that, for the world being like that. Partially, it was not. She did blame Fang and Namari because Namari betrayed her and started the whole fight in the first place. Because she called her piece rolled deep. And they just was like, yeah, we're gonna steal that. You know?
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for her because she was by herself. All she had was Tuk Tuk with her, the little what do you want to call it?
Formerly
Armadillo?
well, yeah, almost like an
Oh,
armadillo.
it's like a giant armadillo that she used as a car.
He started out little, and then he get to.
I love that she used it as a wheel. It was just, I'm not gonna lie, that was cool. I was like,
that was pretty cool.
like a huge motorbike. It was cool.
That was awesome.
So she's just so twisted and angry and just like, but she's so focused. That's one thing.
On
she's
trying
very
to find the
focused.
dragon, because she's like, I need to find a way to rectify all of this, and if I find the dragon, and the dragon's actually still alive, like this rumor that Namari told her about, that
about going to the ends of the rivers,
and that
each river,
that the last dragon was still alive. Sasu, right?
Yeah, Sisu
is still alive. It's like she fell into the water, and that's where she is. So she's like, she searched all the different branching
over the 6 years.
Yeah,
and at the end of this,
to try to
we
find
meet her, where we come.
Sisu.
They go into the future, like 6 years, and she's all grown up. And then we find that she's on the last river. She's like, "This is the last one, yo. Otherwise, I don't know. I got no other ideas." And so at the end of this river, she does her prayer, and the dragon is there, and it was amazing because it was like she was in awe because they had never seen the dragons. They just seen, the stone. And the one thing I like that even Namari,
not extinct, but like all the stuff
for centuries, they've been extinct
500 years.
Yeah, so they were all like, they were kind of like a legend. Nobody's seen them that's alive at that moment. So they're like, do they really exist? And for her to see and witness it, it was amazing and wonderful. And then you see the dragon is not just some like awesome reverent creature. She's just like most goofiest.
It's Aquafina.
It's Aquafina. The most goofiest, like, so what y'all doing? Oh my God, I'm a person now. My butt's closer to my head. Just like, she had so much character. I loved it.
Oh, but you saved us all. She's like, yeah, about that. So the gym thing wasn't really just me. She's like, how there's group projects.
Told the truth.
And even if you're on the group, despite how much work you put in, you still get the same score as the rest of the group. Well, that's kind of how this went.
I know, it's hilarious. So to me, I feel like her power was to. I felt like Sisu had the power. Her power was to inhabit her combined power and save the world. Like that was her role, I think, and it was a really powerful
and I think it
role.
was something for the fact that she was a water dragon, and like the Droon wouldn't go near the water. So I think that
that's how the people that were on Earth still after the Droons had like mostly went through. They knew to stay near the water or, protected or sheltered or like hiding because some places the Droons would just still be there. But if you didn't have water or one of the dragon shards, one of the dragon gem pieces, it was like, yeah, you're going to be stoned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, of course, Namari and her end up becoming nemesis, basically enemies. As they have grown up, and she's trying to figure out what is she doing, and she's like, "Oh, you stole our dragon gem piece." So like,
no, she didn't steal their gem piece. She stole their scroll.
Oh, okay. I thought she gave it to her.
No. She stole it because that's why she was coming after her. Because she was like, and then that's why she started following her. Because they've got their gem piece. They're like, we chilling, we good.
That's what I was like. Yeah, I was like, she couldn't have taken their gem piece yet.
Yeah, no, she stole the scroll.
That's right. You're right. So,
and that's why she was trying to figure out, like, what is she doing? Why is she up? And that's when she found out that she was stealing other gem pieces.
So, Raya is basically on this adventure with Sisu, trying to hide her so that no one would know and try to, like, do stuff or capture her or whatever.
Like, look what they tried to do with just a dragon gem. Like, if it was an actual dragon, can you imagine how bad they would be?
Yes, and they would have torn themselves apart.
And it was interesting, like, with how jaded Raya is. She's talking about, and the gem worked, and the people came back, but the dragons didn't. And then at one point in the movie, Raya's like, why the dragons didn't come back? Because we didn't deserve it.
Yeah, because she's like, she really... I'm not gonna lie, like Raya really had low-key therapy level issues of trust. She had no trust of anyone whatsoever.
No, they were justified though.
It was because I'm not gonna lie, she was right. Especially that one country, Talon, where we meet the baby. The con baby, like a baby that cons with 3 little monkeys. I wasn't like, who came up with this idea?
But when you think about it, like, you're building up, like, these connections, though, because she didn't trust these people, but then the same baby that took it is, like, one that's, like, helping you.
Every time she went to a new region, she went to find a shard, but then she found somebody to join her team, and she ended up learning to trust them, and they were all different sorts of people. Like, the first one they met from Tail, I think, was a little boy who had a boat, and they needed to escape because Namari and her people were right on her tail.
Yeah,
you know. That's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't even realize that. Go Bo, go Bo. Yeah, and then she goes to Spine. Oh no, she goes to Talon, I think, first, and then this Con baby. But then the Con baby, well, she ends up stealing all the gems, so that's why she went after the baby. And she was especially hesitant of Talon. She's like, you really can't trust nobody here. So she was like, Sisu, stay in the boat. And of course, Sisu did what? Left the boat. And she was like,
I think Raya needs some help. She's like, she didn't take a gift or anything.
Yeah. She's like, she was so trusting. And she just started, I love how the little boy explained credit to her. And she was like,
you're an adult.
I'm going to get it on credit. I'm going to get it on credit. I'm going to get it on credit. It's that every time she went to the market and was grabbing stuff, and they all swarmed her. She's like, what kind of credit? She's like, we don't know you. Where are you coming from?
You have no credit here.
She's like, can't I use credit? It's hilarious. But then she got caught by some bad folks, of course, who kind of knew she was the dragon, apparently. I think they knew. Or no, they didn't know she was the dragon because she was in her human form at the time. But luckily, Raya was there once she got rid of the babies. The baby with the monkeys, let's say that. But the funny thing was, that baby, even though she couldn't talk, it was like she was talking to you. She was so smart.
She was. I would guess she was maybe she was like around 2 or 3. Because you know that there's a certain age where they know what's going on, but they don't have the language skills to like tell you.
That baby was the smartest thing. They was fighting, doing all this stuff. They were really handy. I just love that she picked up one person from each region because it was really going to take all of them to get the world back, like to get their families back, because all these families are torn apart. You know, you got the little boy on the boat; he's by himself. His whole family turned to stone, and it was only because he was on the boat that he was saved. And then the Con baby, she was missing her mom and her grandma. She was just by herself in the world with her little monkeys. So, and then this one was really devastating. So she went to Spine, which is like kind of like a Mongolian-esque area where it's just really cold and dreary and kind of like, and everyone there's big and everything. And so it was kind of sad to see like that entire like community was turned to stone, and he was literally the only one left in Spine. This big dude named Tong, who was just guarding the gem piece. And it's probably because he was the only one with it that he survived. Yeah, because everyone lived so close together, they just took everybody out. And I was so bad for him because he was just living by himself. Even the baby carriage, you could tell he had a kid.
He's lonely. He's like, I'm not lonely. He was like,
yes, you are. You're hiding by yourself, and like, come on. And I love that he joined the team, you know. And then eventually, Raya was the one from Heart. Raya's from the Heart country. And eventually, not gonna lie, even though they were kind of like, none of them wanted to trust I Need the Body from Fang. None of them trust Namari. But Namari became the person from Fang that joined to help at the end of the day. Like, she came in the last minute. Like, let's not front. It was the last minute, but she did.
That's one thing that I really like that, like, I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit is I like the kind of message that the show had. Because, like, I feel like Sisu, she was like, I'm not the best dragon. She was like, I guess she felt almost like kind of like the screw up. She was like, I'm not the greatest. But despite all that,
she's like, I'm just a good swimmer.
Yeah,
I'm a bomb
exactly.
swimmer.
She was like, the rest of my siblings are much better than me. But despite the fact that I'm like the least out of the whole group, they trusted me with this. They trusted me to be the one to. And
they turned to stone.
They did.
After they gave her the gem.
And trusted her to be the one to save everyone. And it's like, and she did. And I like the kind of parallels in the story between like, between Sisu and Namari, because I feel like Namari felt like an outsider her entire life. Maybe not with her own people, but she, their people felt like everyone blamed them for what happened, which, I mean, you guys been trying to fight. But anyway.
Yeah, they did start the fight. They did start the fight.
But everyone could be blamed because everyone was like, trying to do for
each
themselves.
culture was trying to just get the gem for their
themselves.
own prosperity instead of the whole country.
So I felt like she felt ostracized almost. She felt like the screw up because then
you felt like Namari felt like a screw up.
I felt like she did. I felt
overconfident.
I feel like after like the thing with Sisu when she got shot, she was like maybe felt like a screw up because like when you think of like the other nations, you remember how her mother was like everyone blames us for what happens. So yeah, like not from that standpoint of like self-confidence, but from a like out of the other nations and stuff, we're ostracized as being at fault. So I feel like it's almost like a redemption thing, and I feel like it's almost kind of like isolationism and stuff because like the Fang people were like we're about our people to the detriment of everyone else. We need to take care of our people, and it's like almost like the whole "Make America Great Again," which I felt had more connotations of America. There's nothing wrong with taking care of your people, but not to the detriment of everyone else around you, which I think was more like kind of Fang's style, and it was like a thing of. This is what happens in the world where you don't look after each other. Yeah. It's because you're not looking after each other that all of this happened.
Yeah, and they didn't trust themselves, and they allowed themselves to break apart just because the dragons weren't there. Yeah. They allowed themselves to just come undone. So Kumandra hadn't existed for 500 years. So no one knew what it was like to be unified. And it was like they stayed but warring and bitter tribes that they couldn't even... Just a peaceful diplomatic thing just turned into a big fight. Yeah. A mess.
And I feel like the message was, it's really about like, what did I say? Sorry. Taking a quick look at my notes right here. I feel like it's about trust. So yeah,
trust is definitely the main theme. Yeah.
The main theme was trust. Like her, Sisu's brothers and sisters trusted her to be the one to save them all, even though she didn't consider herself to be like the best. And actually considered herself to probably be the least out of all of the rest of her dragon family. But they trusted her, and because they trusted her, she had the power to save everyone. And then with Namari, no one really trusted her.
Still.
And I feel like she didn't really trust herself to do the right thing because, like, talking with her mother, she was like, look what I saw. And her mother's like, we got to do this. Yeah. And I feel like she wanted to do differently, but because her mother told her, she did something different. Similar to like in Wish Dragon. Yep. With like...
again, that whole collectivistic
exactly
society
like,
thing
I feel this,
is there.
But because my parents told me this, I feel like I need to go there. So I feel like she didn't trust herself to do what she thought. But then after everything else, when Raya offered her that trust, like, I'm going to be the first one to trust you. I am giving you guys don't have to give me the gems. I'm going to give you, Namari, the one that nobody in this group trusts. No one. I'm going to give you the gem and give you the trust you enough to save everyone.
Yeah. That was bold. That was a wonderful little turn because you would assume...
I like teared up and everything because
I didn't think she was going to do it. I was like, are you... I was like, when I saw... I was like, how the main girl going to be a stone? I was like, what?
Yeah. And that's one thing that made it so much better, so great of a story. Like, she was like, no, I'm not going to be... I don't have to be the one who saves everyone. I'm going to trust someone else. And that is going to be my contribution. Because she trusted her, I think that gave, just like it did with Sisu. She was like, they trusted me enough because she was going to run away. And then she was like, no. Yeah. They trusted me. I need to.
And you know what? Sisu trusted her too because I don't know if she had dragon magic to see because during the time they were in Talon during the time they were in Spine and Sisu saw how badly Namari was kicking Raya's butt when they were fighting one-on-one. She was like, oh no, you ain't beating up my chick. So she came and showed herself. But then she was like, she was like baring her teeth. She was like fierce looking. I loved that part actually.
I did love that part.
She saw in her the awe that Namari truly has for dragons. And she was like, she respected her so much. And then she was like, wow, I can see something different about you, but I'm going to leave right now. But I can see something that's different about you. And so Sisu knew, and she's like, yo, Namari's not all that bad. she might not be doing the right thing right now, but she's not all that bad. So Sisu was the one pushing Raya, because Raya had a whole different plan. When she was like, no, we need to infiltrate all the 4 of them. Well, there's more because of the monkeys. But the rest of the team, they were trying to be like, no, we need to infiltrate Fang and get their piece and do this and that. And then she was like, no, I think we need to just go and talk to Namari. And Sisu, she was just like, I trust her. She's like, I know something else is up with her. I think you can trust her. And I was like, you need to trust too. And then she showed her the story about her life and what happened and how they were literally the last dragons left because the runes had taken over. It was beautiful to watch. And I like that. Even though when everything broke down, because Namari didn't, I guess because Raya didn't trust Namari, that whole shot thing happened where Sisu got hit by accident, because she just was like, Namari's gonna mess up this deal. Like, Namari's gonna renege. Like, she just knew Namari was gonna do something bad, because she did. She put the gun out on them, and she's like, "Give me all the pieces." And you're just like, "Well, see, she proved her right." You know, so I don't blame her, but it was like it was a move that messed things up, and then everything went to heck because the runes came back and all the waters receded. You know, but then I love that she showed courage, even though they're. Side note, their fight scene when Raya was like, "I'm done. I'm coming to kill you now." Like, Raya was like, "I'm killing you now."
This is about vengeance now.
Yes, they were fiercely fighting. They were evenly matched. It was great.
Yeah, it was.
I'm
awesome.
sorry, their fight scene was awesome.
It was.
But I love that she had that turn where she's like, "Look at what's happening," and then honestly, what I liked was that her team, even though they didn't care about Fang at all, they were like, "Nah, we can't trust Fang." They were like, "See, we knew we couldn't trust anybody from Fang." But while they were in Fang, they were all trying to help. The little boy, Tong, I think his name was Boon, little boy, baby Con, because there was no name for her. Con baby is what we can call her.
Well, we actually did find out her name, but I forgot what it was. Because remember, Tong was like,
Tong knew her name.
It was on her collar.
Yeah, Tong knew her name. You're right, because Tong and her were really tight. Tong loved the little baby because he had a baby beforehand. So he got really close to her, and the baby loved Tong. And but all 5 or 6 of them were really helping to save the people of Fang, just the regular folks. And I love that too, because they were like putting themselves on the line, and then they all decided to give up their pieces. They're like, okay, I'm gonna go be a stone now too. We're gonna see what you're gonna do with this. And I like that Namari came out on the end and did the right thing.
And I love that lesson about trust. Like, she didn't earn it. She did not earn it, but trust isn't always about being earned. Sometimes you have to trust people in order for them to earn that trust. Yeah. And I love kind of that lesson in the movie. Like, they had no reason to trust Namari, but they're like, you've got to, in order to come out on top, you've got to
save
them.
And, do something like they're trying to save the world.
And I feel like it's got parallels. Like, I think of, like, going back to like Xena, because like,
which you didn't finish.
Xena was a spinoff of Hercules, but like within her story,
it was a better show though.
It was a better show. It's totally a better show. But like the whole thing was like when Xena got back like on her path to good, it was like because of Hercules. Like Hercules put her on the path to good because like I forgot exactly what happened.
She was like a warlord. She was like a warlordess.
She was a villain. And
she
he
was
like
doing stuff.
He
was
put
pillaging.
some type of trust in her. He's like, I trust that you can do better.
Do good.
She didn't earn it, but he gave it to her. And sometimes you have to, people who haven't earned it, you have to trust them so that they can earn it. Yeah. Because some people, I think, like, it's telling, like...
I mean, it's like self-preservation, protection, really. I think it's fear that doesn't allow us to touch it. To trust others, and sometimes I fear is not unwarranted, especially with what goes on in the world. Especially nowadays, it's like you always think you're going to get scammed by stuff. Yeah, because there's so much of it.
There is. I mean, there's legitimate reasons to be like wary, but I think that despite that, sometimes you have to trust anyway.
That's good. That's good.
And sometimes people have to be given the opportunity because maybe some people have never been trusted. And because they've never been trusted, they're never going to start on that path. Like, even like a show like Once Upon a Time.
Wouldn't you say that, Whitney? They all had the common goal to save the world and get all the people that turned the stone back.
Well,
you would think they would want
Namari's
to work.
Mother was like...
Well, yeah, she was
Namari
trying to keep
like,
her
well,
world.
Aren't we all trying to do the same thing? And Namari's mother
was
like,
Fang was surrounded by water, right?
They had dug their own man-made.
So that protected them from the Drunes from coming in.
Yeah,
but once
she wanted to keep
Sisu
the balance
died,
of power.
Yeah, once Sisu died, the waters receded, so that's when the Drunes came and attacked their country.
Yeah, but I just feel like, you know, even with like Regina from Once Upon a Time, I didn't watch the entire series, but like she's the evil queen and whatnot, but she didn't start out that way. It's because of like
stuff
influence, like because her mother was like horrible to her and whatnot, and then stuff with like her being married off to the queen when she's like a teenager and when she didn't want to, and you can just you know, there's some past stuff. But then when she is the evil queen, she's never really, nobody trusts her. She's never given really the opportunity to be anything else.
So she just rises to the occasion of that position.
Exactly.
And everybody's expectation of her because they believe it.
And then when like Emma befriends her, like there's at one point where she's blamed for something that she didn't do, like for like killing or kidnapping someone. And she thinks that she has a friend for a second, and she's about to make that turn, and then she backslides because everyone blamed her. No one trusts her. And it's like sometimes people have to be given the opportunity.
That's a good one.
Given the trust in order to make the turnaround.
Yes, I love that. That's a good example. And so I love the resolution that she even was like, I'll turn to stone as well. Because she put it together. Because we were still like, no one knew whether Sisu was alive or not. We just knew her dragon magic was fading because she did get injured really badly.
And they talked about the fact that it's like, well, or Raya said that it wasn't the dragon man. She was like, it's the trust. That's what it was that saved everyone.
Nice. Yeah. And a side note, I watched the panel of all the people who played the voiceover actors, and I love Sandra Oh's story about how the person that plays Tong is Benedict Wong from. He played, I don't know his character. I think his character was Wang or Wong. Wong, yeah. Okay. So his name was Wong in Doctor Strange. So if you guys know, it's the big Asian dude that was like really cool. He was in the Avengers too.
Beyonce song.
Yeah, I really liked his character in that.
Yeah, I did.
So he told Sandra Oh about like what happened when his son, he has a little son. It's like just 4 years old, I think, 4 or 6. And he watched the Raya and the Last Dragon with his son. And then he said at the end of the movie, his son turned to him and said, "Daddy, I trust you." And she was like, that's just it. She's like, that's what we want. At the end of the day, these younger people, these kids come around and they like told his family, "I trust you." That was a good, I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet.
Aww.
Like, but it made so much sense because it's like, this movie was so much about trust. I just really liked the execution of it. Like, it was funny. It was really witty.
Great.
Beautiful. And I love when the dragons came back this time.
Oh, yes. I did
That was the
it.
sweetest thing ever. And then they were so beautiful. The way they did the little, I don't know what to call that.
And I love the fact that Sisu had such, like, it was so light.
Yes, her character was just so light and positive.
And trusting. And I feel like she was not that way prior to like saving everyone with the dragon glass, and it was because her siblings trusted her that she got the kind of level of confidence that she had. Because I feel like probably before that she was talking about like
she was way more carefree. I feel like her character was carefree and light, but she probably, like you said, she probably wasn't as focused or determined to just like, oh, I'm just gonna save the world. I just think, like you said, they instilled that in her, and she wanted to.
And I feel
save
like
everything.
she felt like she could do it. She didn't have like I can't do it. I feel like after the first time, she was like, I can do this again. She was like, they trusted me, and because they trusted me, I had the power to do it. And after that, I'm not gonna distrust myself again.
Yeah, so it's like she grew up too. And I really enjoyed her like being a human for a little bit, and she was like, because I like that the gem was infused with all her brother and sister's power, so it was like a family thing. So all her brothers and sisters had different power, like the fog, the human transformation, the shapeshifting, let's call it, and
the
then
rain.
just the rain and the glowing. I just thought it was amazing that all that came together in her, and then she was able to help save the world. Like, it was just a beautiful little story. Like,
it was beautiful.
I'm sorry. Anybody that has said something wrong about it, I'm like, don't come at me. Just like, you just need to go sit down and have a popsicle or something because you just need.
Let's get to the rating.
It's so good.
Get to the rating. Because to be honest, I gave it 10 glasses.
Yeah?
Yeah. I gave it 10 glasses. I thought it was awesome. I loved it.
I loved it too. I'm gonna give it a 10 glasses too, because at first I was like, okay, let me give it a 9 because I really really liked it. But then I was
thought about it too. I was thinking about giving it 9 glasses, but I'm
watching
like,
it and talking
I can't
about it
think
now,
of anything to like
there was
deduct
nothing
from
that
it.
I didn't dislike.
I was like, I don't want to be just throwing out 10s like it's like hot cakes and whatnot. But I'm like, I really can't think of anything to
It's a
deduct
great
about it. So I'm
movie.
like, you know what? Let me give them a 10.
I liked it. I really did.
Yeah, me too.
I liked it. It was very well executed, and it was way better than I thought it was gonna be. Because I didn't know what to expect. Because I had heard bad things.
I hadn't seen any trailers or anything. I think I saw like a sneak preview or something, but I hadn't seen any trailers or anything, so I didn't come in with any expectations.
I just didn't know what I was. I didn't know what to expect because I was like, "What's the story about?" And it ended up being way better than I imagined. I really am gonna try and get my mom and my sister to watch it because I'm like, "Stop playing, watch it. It's really good." All right, y'all. So that is our review of Raya and the Last Dragon. That completes our 2-episode arc for the animated Dragon month. So you guys just continue for the next few days that's left in this month. Enjoy some more animated movies. If you haven't seen Onward, that's on Disney Plus. Soul is still there. Boss Baby 2 was very good. I really enjoyed it. That one was another tearjerker. We talked about our last episode. I think you're going to have to go to
the theaters for that one, though.
Yeah, you will have to go to the theaters for that one, but
I
you
think
know,
the first Boss Baby is on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, the original one should be on Netflix.
All
so right. I enjoyed, and there's just so many other ones. Watch some classics. We talked about Anastasia,
my gosh.
And like all the old Disney classics. Like really,
Golden Age Disney is still on point, y'all. Just doesn't. It's
animated movies are hidden. And I feel like now they're really not just for kids. Like adults can watch them, appreciate them, and learn something. Again, they just so easily digestible for kids and adults, and they touch your heart. Like I never cry at other films, but I've cried at I teared up all the Disney movies or the animated movies. So we love them, and that's why we wanted to devote this month, even though it turned into just a week or a few days. But we still got the episodes out here, y'all. So enjoy them. And let us know what you think. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. We are always watching our Instagram and everything. So we like to hear from you out there. Whoever's out there. Just call us. Just contact us. Nobody calls anymore. Just DM us, okay? You can slide in our DMs. We love it.
Ease my
mind. What are you singing, Whitney?
It's from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, okay. That I don't know.
For me to find you. Piece of my
Whitney solo show, y'all.
Sorry, if y'all watch Cowboy Bebop, the animated series,
I was just gonna have you trail out and sing out. I was like, let's end the episode with Whitney. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use and share the show with other Blerds and non-Blerd family and friends. And if you like our episode, please rate and review us on iTunes.
The intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Caption, spelled C-A-P-S-H-U-N. The show notes are by Bola, Hanson, and the audio engineering is by Whitney Booker.
And you can contact us by email at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And also, don't forget to get social, you guys. You can find us on our social media at Instagram and Twitter, with our @handle being @blerdtalkbw. And we've got our individual things going on too, y'all. So you can find me, your Blerd Fashionista, on Instagram and Twitter at BolaStoryB. That's B with 2 E's like the insect. And I've got my own personal YouTube channel, just Bola Sade. That's BOLASHADE. D as in dog, E as in elephant.
And this is Whitney. You can find me at my company, Luminavi Studios. The email address is wit@luminavi.com. That's WHIT@LUMENAVI.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Luminavi Studios.